counting.
You ready? Go.
1,
2.
3.
Alrighty.
Alright, howdy, I'm Brian. I'm doing a speech on public education, what I think needs improvement, and stuff like that. So here we go. First thing first, I don't think common sense is common anymore. Voltaire said it best, common sense is not so common. Also, I believe that high schools, their students leave the high school without some basic knowledge. These are two things that I kind of want to address in this speech. So here are my sources. All right, first of all, personal finance. I know that a lot of students leave high school without any basic knowledge of how to open up a bank account, how to file taxes, how to invest, etc., so on and so forth. Or probably a big one is how to pay for a car. A lot of students in high school purchase a car and they don't know what it actually costs, whether it's through insurance, gas costs, normal maintenance, etc., etc. So I think that's one thing. Also, there's a quote from H&R Block. 86% of teens indicate that they'd rather learn about money management in classes before making mistakes in the real world. Students understand that this is a very important thing that they're going to face later in their life, currently in their life right now, because they're dealing with jobs, they have to deal with taxes, and like I said, cars, and opening up bank accounts, some simple stuff like that. And I feel like that high schools fail, especially in this. One, because a lot of high schools do not have this class, personal finance, as a required class, and I feel like if this was required, this would help them. Second thing, common sense. I have a perfect example of this. My former college roommate, I was friends with him back in high school. He got his driver's license, and he was about 17 years old. And I was riding with him. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna drive." I was like, "All right, you got it. You got your license. You're all happy about that and stuff." So we go. He's like, "I gotta get some gas." He goes to the gas station, stops. He's like, "Hey, Brian, how do I put gas in my tank?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was floored, and I was like, "Dude, just get out and put it in the gas tank and pump it. That's all you have to do." And so it's like my first indication of that common sense is not so common. A lot of people don't know how to change their car's oil, do some regular maintenance on their car, how to cook, do laundry, and it's kind of like, man, it's kind of simple stuff, but students don't know that when they leave high school and they're thrown into the real world. So finally, I feel like that high schools fail to show students all these different fields of study or fields of work, whether they go to college or whether they don't. I know there's 65.9% of people who graduate from high school the previous spring had enrolled in college. These students, so kind of paint you a picture. So these 65% of high school students apply to college, they get in, but on top of that, about 80% of students in the United States end up changing their majors at least once, according to the National Center of Education Statistics. On average, college students change their major at least 3 times over the course of their college career. I think, although this is not really like anyone's fault, some students may never know what their passion is until they actually go to college and really get in depth into different majors and stuff. But I feel like the downfall of the high school education is that they fail to show them these different areas of study at like the most basic level. They don't show them. They don't get to experience these new things in their life, and outside of like sports or band or some big things like that. So I'm gonna Take the camera again. Show everyone's still here. Hey, what's up, everyone? All right, cool. All right, now that I showed you the problem, I want to present a solution that I have. This is not the solution. It's a solution to these three main problems. One, personal finance. I kind of iterated it or touched on it before, but I believe that personal finance should be a required class so that they can learn how to do taxes, to finance a car, or how to prepare for college financially. These are it seems like a no-brainer to me that this should be taught as a required class, but for some reason it's not. Students want to learn about it. Like I said before, 86% of high school students indicate that they are wanting to learn this stuff. And if we're showing them that we're like, hey, we're listening to you, you want to learn this, you think it's important, we think it's important too, we're going to here to support you. This is how we should support them, is by sharing this education to them so that they are ready for the real world. So, common sense. I want to make a common sense class. It could be a lot of things can be taught in this, like how to change car's oil, how to do some routine maintenance on a car, how to fold clothes, how to do laundry, how to cook. It could be, that's just a few things that we can touch on, but there's a lot of stuff that for example, like in elementary school, we had a list of inexcusable words. This was like a list of words that we should never misspell, as like a lot was 2 words, or there, and there, etc. So this needs to have like a list of inexcusable, like basics to life things that they should know how to do, whether it's, like I said, changing oil, to just some routine maintenance in the house, or I don't know, how to cook, or whatever it may be. Just some basics to life to set them up for their next area in life. Finally, I want high schools to give some support to the students for searching for their passions. I know a lot of guys want to do sports, but they don't know what they want to study in college while they're doing sports. And a lot of people don't go to college for sports. And like I said before, 80% of students will change their major at least once. And so what I would like the high schools to do would be make a list of 6 to 10 different fields where the students can choose 2 or maybe 3 classes to investigate or get their feet wet, so they can get a taste of these different fields, such as engineering, architecture. It could be plumbing, like how to be a plumber. Doesn't have to focus on college majors or anything. It can also, because only 65% go to college immediately after high school, and so there's 35% of students who will enter the work field. And so if you also facilitate learning for their situation, whether it's going to the work corps or becoming a plumber, whatever it may be, food industry, if we can help them search for what they want to do also, not just focus on college, because college is not for everyone, although we would like to think it is. High school should help facilitate them in their passion, searching for their passion, and kind of narrowing it down for them when they do take that next step in life. And finally, in conclusion, we need to go back to the purpose of education. That's to help the students move on to the next part of their life, to teach them some valuable things, not just like English 4 was nothing wrong with English 4. People love English, but we teach them English, history, physics, all this kind of stuff, but like some of those classes I'll never use again. Some of these classes, like I mentioned earlier, I face like every day, or I will face in the future, and that's a given, whether it's taxes or whatever. Like, I'm going to face those things, but I'm never taught those things. And we need to expose those students to those new fields so they can kind of experiment what they think they like to do, or what they can narrow it down from there. It's like, oh, I actually didn't like this, or hey, I had no idea that this job would demand this of me. I don't really want to do that. Or hey, I love this, I want to pursue it. And so it kind of helps them decide their major or their field. Finally, teaching them the basics of life is setting them up for success, not for failure. So even though these are some no-brainers, it's like people are not being taught these things, and so they're set up for success or set up for failure when we don't teach them those. And so I think that all these things that I've said would help not only students, but like when they grow up to be adults, they're going to help them when they're adults. They're going to be helped for their kids, and so on and so forth. And so I think that education should be changed a little bit, like not all the way, but I think these things need to be had in order for successful education for high school students. So that is it. All right, and here's everyone again. No one's asleep, yay.